Most people believe freedom means having more options, more money, more power, more control over the world outside of them. Epictetus would tell you that this belief is the very thing that keeps you enslaved. He would say that the man who needs the world to behave a certain way in order to feel at peace is not free, but fragile. And the man who can remain steady regardless of what the world throws at him is the only one who has ever truly been free. Epictetus was born a slave, not metaphorically, not philosophically, literally owned by another human being. His body could be beaten, controlled, punished, restricted. Yet from that position, he taught something so dangerous to power, so liberating to the human mind, that emperors would later study his words. His core message was simple, but terrifyingly honest. You do not suffer because of events, you suffer because of your judgments about events. And the moment you understand this, your entire relationship with life changes. Epictetus begins with what may be the most important psychological distinction ever made. Some things are within your control, and some things are not. That's it. That single line contains an entire philosophy of mental strength, but most people misunderstand it. They think it means don't care or be passive. That's not what he meant at all. Epictetus meant that you must place your emotional investment only where you actually have power. Anything else is self-betrayal. Your opinions, your values, your judgments, your choices, your effort, these belong to you. Your reputation, your income, other people's behavior, your past, the economy, the algorithm, the response you get from the world, these do not. The modern mind collapses because it tries to control what cannot be controlled and neglects what can. We obsess over how we are perceived, how fast success comes, whether others validate us, whether life feels fair. Epictetus would say, you are exhausted because you are fighting reality instead of mastering yourself. Think about modern anxiety. Someone sends a message and doesn't reply. Instantly, the mind spirals. Did I say something wrong? Are they ignoring me? Am I losing them? Epictetus would calmly ask one question. Is their response within your control? No. Then why are you giving it power over your peace? The suffering does not come from the unread message. It comes from the story you attach to it. Change the story, and the suffering dissolves. Epictetus teaches that every external thing is neutral until your judgment assigns it value. Losing a job is not inherently catastrophic. Being criticized is not inherently humiliating. Failing publicly is not inherently shameful. These things become painful only when your identity is built on them. If your self-worth depends on success, success owns you. If your peace depends on approval, approval controls you. This is not strength. This is dependency dressed up as ambition. One of Epictetus's most brutal insights is this: if you want to be invincible, make nothing outside your own character a requirement for happiness. Read that again slowly. Make nothing outside your character a requirement for happiness. That doesn't mean you stop pursuing goals. It means your goals stop owning you. You act with full effort, but zero attachment to outcome. You do your best, and you accept whatever follows without inner collapse. In modern life, this applies everywhere. At work, people suffer not because of hard tasks, but because their ego is entangled with results. A project fails, and they feel like they failed as a human being. Epictetus would say you confused performance with identity. You can control your preparation, your discipline, your integrity, not the final outcome. Judge yourself only by what was in your hands, and you will never be psychologically defeated. Epictetus also understood something modern psychology is only now rediscovering. Most emotional pain is self-inflicted. He taught that events do not disturb us. Our interpretations do. Two people lose the same job. One sees it as proof of worthlessness, the other sees it as a redirection. Same event, completely different suffering. The difference is not circumstance, it is philosophy. This is why Epictetus insisted that philosophy is not theory, but training. He did not want students who could quote ideas. He wanted students who could endure discomfort without complaint, insult without collapse, loss without bitterness. He believed that life itself is the training ground, and every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen the mind. When something goes wrong, Epictetus tells us not to ask, "Why me?" but, "What does this demand of me now?" This single shift transforms victimhood into agency. Modern culture trains people to externalize blame, to believe that peace will come when conditions improve. Epictetus teaches the opposite. Peace comes when perception improves. Consider relationships. Most people enter relationships unconsciously, trying to control another person's emotions, loyalty, behavior. And when the other person inevitably acts according to their own nature, suffering follows. Epictetus would say, "You tried to own what was never yours." Love does not mean possession. It means appreciation without dependency. Care deeply, but understand that another person's choices are not under your command. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you resilient. You love without fear, because you are not attaching your identity to what can be taken from you. You enjoy people as they are, not as emotional insurance policies. This is emotional maturity, not detachment. Epictetus also warned against living unconsciously according to social expectations. He believed most people live borrowed lives, chasing status symbols, praise, and roles they never chose. In modern terms, this looks like building a life for Instagram rather than for inner stability. He would say that if your happiness depends on appearing successful rather than being grounded, you have already lost. True freedom, according to Epictetus, is not doing whatever you want. It is wanting only what aligns with reason and virtue. Discipline is not restriction. It is liberation from impulses that make you weak. Every time you act against your values for comfort, approval, or pleasure, you strengthen the chains that bind you. He believed that the highest goal of life is to become unshakable, not emotionally numb, but internally anchored. Someone who can experience pleasure without addiction, pain without despair, success without arrogance, and failure without self-hatred. That person cannot be manipulated, controlled, or broken by the world. Epictetus also taught the power of voluntary discomfort. He encouraged his students to occasionally experience hunger, cold, inconvenience, not to suffer unnecessarily, but to prove to themselves that they could survive without luxury. In modern life, this could mean stepping away from constant stimulation, resisting impulsive consumption, sitting with boredom instead of escaping it. When you learn that you can endure discomfort, fear loses its grip. And perhaps his most confronting lesson is this: you will die. Everyone you love will die. Everything you build will eventually disappear. Epictetus did not see this as depressing. He saw it as clarifying. When you accept impermanence, you stop wasting energy on trivial anxieties. You stop postponing courage. You stop tolerating a life that does not reflect who you want to be. He would say that every day you wake up, you are entering a contest, not against others, but against your own impulses, fears, and illusions. And the prize is freedom. Not the freedom to escape life, but the freedom to stand firm within it. So ask yourself honestly, where have you been giving power to things you cannot control? Where have you been outsourcing your peace to circumstances, people, or outcomes? And what would change if you reclaimed authority over your own judgments, values, and choices? Epictetus does not promise an easy life. He promises a strong mind. And in a chaotic world, that may be the most valuable possession you can have. If this way of thinking resonates with you, if you want to build a mind that remains calm, grounded, and unbreakable, no matter what life throws at you, then this is exactly what Stoic Gateway exists for. Subscribe to Stoic Gateway and begin mastering the only thing that truly belongs to you, your mind. In the next video, we go deeper into the Stoic mindset that remains unshaken under extreme pressure. I'll see you there.